Howdy YouTube friends. So I'm going through big changes, big multi-tool changes. So I guess a recap. I've been carrying and using the GOAT multi-tool, loving it for the past few years. But for quite a while now, nothing's been happening. I think Michael O'Donnell probably sold the company. I've heard that a lot of their things are out of stock now. I've heard of a couple people ordered and got their tool within a few days. And also I heard that a lot of their stuff is out of stock now. So I'm kind of thinking they're just selling off what they have left. I don't know. So I'm not going to keep waiting around hoping for GOAT to do something while I'm just twiddling my thumbs. And I emailed Michael a while back. He did not get back to me, which he always did in the past. So before my GOAT, it was a Gerber diesel for over 10 years. This is kind of my first plier multi-tool, which I needed. You know, that's why I bought it. I needed it. I think I was doing concrete when I bought this. So this thing has been through everything. Even though it's just a dumb Gerber diesel, it's been through everything. So it's not the greatest, but it has lasted. Now, if we count, a multi-tool, a tool with multiple things, then it would have to be my Lone Ranger when I was around 6 or 8 maybe. And then my Angler, which I think this is called an Angler, and my mom gave this to me around 11, 12 years old. So I've had this forever. I was never a Swiss Army knife carrier, but I always had this, I always kept it close by for all these hundreds of years. I always took it when I worked out of town all week long. I took it camping. But I just never carried it. I didn't want this just down in my pocket. So I decided I ain't gonna go through all my thinking and all that, but I thought long and hard, and I've gone back to what I consider my original multi-tool. And I've also already swapped my scales for black. I was kind of wanting to go yellow. I do like yellow, and I can see it. I can see it a lot better. My eyes aren't too good. I'm getting older. But I'm loving this thing. So these are replaceable, or the replaceable scales. They're the plus scales, same as what I had. Except I opened up the secret 4th slot. So I don't have a thing for that yet, but I'm gonna get their little ferro rods, and I'll stick my toothpick in here, which I've already worked it out. And this goes down to here really good once I chop this down. So, but I'm getting some red tools. I'm getting a red toothpick and red tweezers. It'll be super cool with my black and red. So I've gone to, I don't even hardly know where to go with all this, but let's see. One thing is everybody thinks this is big. I thought it was big too. But I mean, it's actually smaller than normal plier multi-tool. The tools are just orientated a different direction. So, I mean, it's It weighs less and it's smaller than a plier multi-tool. So, I don't know, here's my sheath, Kydex. This I did buy. It had a terrible vertical slip type of clip. So I put my Spyderco G-clip on here off of my goat sheath. I cut this out some so that I can get this out of here better. Oops. Because it was just like this side. And all there was this ring thing to dig into your thumb to click it out of there. So I cleared this off. I have a lot better in and out now. And then the two things that I never have in my past multi-tools is a little skinny little deep Phillips to get battery compartments. That's the one, well, that and eyeglasses, but normal Phillips never fits into battery compartment type of screws. They're in deep little holes, and that's the one thing, you know, that I always have to look for, is that it doesn't come in a normal multi-tool. So I glued this magnet to here. So far, this is all held good. This is actually a 4mm bit. And I did have it separated, and one time while they were separated, the bit kind of moved way over to the side or something like that. But since I've been keeping them together, I haven't had any problems falling off or almost falling off. When I try to unhook it from my belt, sometimes I kind of joggle them around, because this is a really good stay on what it's clipped onto. It doesn't want to come off. Let's see what else. So I've got the little micro driver. I got this from Etsy. I'll put his name in right here now. So this was my first Etsy purchase. And I stuck a sewing needle on here too now. And so far it hasn't moved out. And I just have it sitting down in here. I do also have a magnet right there and one down in there. They're just sitting loose. But this sewing needle, I just stick it right down there. I rubbed it on the magnet so it is a little magnetized itself. I've got the stick pin right there. I tried to make a little slot for this sewing needle, but I kind of made it too big. I might be able to stick another stick pin in here. I might glue it shut and then stab the pin through it. Maybe that'll make the hole the size of the pin. I don't know. But I love having the eyeglass. This is the Phillips and the flathead. Let's see, where's my magnet? Let me cut for it. Alright, so here's the little tiny flathead and Phillips. I love having this thing on my tool now. I'm so much more capable, I feel like, with this Swiss Champ than I have ever been before. And so far, this sewing needle has stayed. It hasn't came out some or anything. It could stab me one of these days. Alright, I don't know what else. I wasn't very prepared for this video. Talking videos are always an ordeal for me to try to make. So I've gone to my Swiss Champ and 6-inch needle nose vice grips. And I've been using this Viperade Multitool large leather slip. I'm loving this. It fits so nice everywhere. Outside the waistband, inside the waistband, clipped in a pocket, or just down in front or back pocket. Anywhere I put this, it's pretty well great. Now inside the waistband, sometimes it's kind of rubbing on my fat and love handles. Rub on my side a little bit. Maybe have to tilt it to the back or to the front, vice versa. Or move it on my belt just a little bit to a different area. But I'm loving this. I'm loving the vice grip power. So, this weighs less than a plier multi-tool. Now, if you combine them, you know, it's a little bit more. Like these are 8.5-ish ounces plier multi-tools. I think these were 6.5, and maybe the Champ is 6.5-ish also. So, I mean, it's a few more ounces or whatever, but I just feel so much more capable with these, and I'm using them. I don't know why it never occurred to me to use carry vice grips on me, but I am loving having vice grips on me. I can so I'm using this now. This is my bit driver. This is for a longer saw if I need to or want to. The Victorinox saw is probably the best saw there is. Small multi-tool saw. Saw's great. Everything about this is great. This is me going back to my original, and I'm loving it. So this pouch was the goat really made me get this pouch to carry the little bit of extras. So I'm also carrying these with me. Edit. Don't listen to this guy. I don't ever carry this pouch. I just bring it with me and keep it close by. Which, once I beat the hell out of them, bent them all crazy, reground the end, now they're kind of okay, but 4-inch is just too small for me to use and count on for my everything, you know, my main tool. So this is pretty much the pouch that I got going with my goat, with extra things. It's pretty much the same, except I did have some goat things that I took out of here now. I'm not, like some extra tools. So I was going to keep my craft knife in here because I do a lot of crafty things. And sometimes I use the craft blade when I know I'm gonna chop something that I'm gonna hit staples and nails. I'll use these utility blades. But now that my big vice grips are also my bit driver and saw blade holder, that I think I will, if needs be, I'll use these little ones for my craft blade holder. I'll put some notches in here. I'll Dremel a notch in the top and the bottom. And I can clamp this in here. Right now it's almost dangerous. It can flip out, but once the notches are in there, it'll be pretty good. I can use this either way, put the blade either way. So that's what I'm doing with that. What else I got going on? I always forget a few things. This Viperade large multi-tool leather slip. It's pretty soft leather to begin with. I tried to wet form for the first time ever, which was just get it soaking wet, wrap the tool in saran wrap plastic, and squeeze and shape it with my fingers, and then just let it sit and dry, and once in a while I kept shaping it with my fingers. So I think it would work better with a thicker, harder leather, but it's somewhat formed it. So there's that. I've had this little, I think it's called a Classic or SD. This came in a toolbox of black powder shooting stuff, so I've had this for a long time too. But I am throwing this down in my pocket now. I'm loving having this little guy on me. Got the blade, file. I filed this tip. Let's see, where's my little flat? So I think this was about the width of this. But it's those little tiny Phillips that this was just a little too big for little tiny Phillips. So I filed both edges of that to make it a little skinnier. And now it fits some little tiny Phillips screws. And I also filed down along this edge here. So I'm gonna order a couple of those Firefly ferro rods, and I'm going to replace, I ain't quite decided what's more important to me, tweezers or toothpick. Seeing as how I also have tweezers and toothpick on this, but this could be my little handy dandy, always in my pocket fire knife too, which I haven't actually tried yet, but it feels pretty scrapey. And then I suppose while I'm at it, I kind of think everybody knows what's in this, but maybe not. So I'll go through this real quick. Small blade, large blade. I got the file and metal saw. What did I do with it? I did this with the file, saw, cut, and I didn't use sandpaper. I just somewhat smoothed it with this. I filed some other things too. I think just wood and plastic I filed with this. And after the file is the wonderful saw. Teeth all the way to there. Let's see. The goat saw is a little longer than other multi-tool saws, but Victorinox has teeth all the way. Good saw. Alright, after the saw, which direction am I going? Oh yeah, the fish tool. I love the fish tool. I stab tater tots and olives and hard-boiled eggs down in a mason jar. This thing's great for stabbing food. And I actually love I measure little things sometimes just to get an idea to, something. I'm always measuring little things. And straight edge too. This can be a straight edge. You have to have it somewhat like that for the ring not to hit. But yeah, I like the fish tool a lot. After the fish tool is the awesome scissors. Great scissors. Then these things are freaking great too. Now, I haven't tried to do plier-y stuff with it. I haven't needed to, but grabbing things and holding things and pulling things, picking up little tiny wires that my fat fingers can't pick up wires for the life of me. My life depended upon it. I couldn't do it. At work, we make wires and stuff, so a wire on the floor, I have to use tweezers or something. Then we got the magnifying glass, and I've been using this a lot to see tiny things that I have trouble seeing. See the great Phillips. That's a nice full-size Phillips there. And a real hard half stop. And the flathead has a real nice solid half stop too. Can opener. Love the Swiss Army can opener. I have the world speed record. I claim the world speed record. I think it was 19 seconds. I've got a short video on it a long time ago. Then all my little tools, ink pen. This is gonna stay gray. Tweezers will be red. And they have an inch measure marks on one side and centimeters on the other. I have a tiny little depth gauge or measure tiny things, which I think is great. The tweezers will be red. The toothpick will be red, but I think down here, and I'll put the ferro rod in that one. I'll have to chop the red toothpick down to fit. But I already have this, the right size to fit down to there. Now, as soon as I had all this figured out, everything's perfect. Got it all planned out perfectly for my needs. And right when I do, my good buddy Daniel Talks Multitool Talk, out of the blue, far left field, total surprise. This crazy guy sends me Roxxon Flex Companion. This is pretty nice. I like it. This is what I got in it. I'll make a full video on this as soon as I can. Thank you, Daniel, for throwing this in right when I had everything figured out. Thank you, and thanks for watching.